I just wanted to share with you three observations as a result of yesterday's press conference that make this sport so great. And the first one is an observation that Mr. Zayat mentioned. He didn't want to watch the races earlier in the day because the horses that were favored were losing. The unpredictability of our sport is one of the things that makes it so great. The second thing is professionalism. As I listened to the answers that the three of you gave yesterday, they were concise, they were analytical, they were full of commitment, and they were professional. You three make our sport so great, and I mean that sincerely. And third was the passion of our fans. That was an incredible wall of sound that engulfed all of us. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And unlike other sporting venues where at the end of the day, however many people are still left in the stands are divided on their loyalties, yesterday, 90,000 plus people were yelling their heads off for the three of you and for American Pharoah. So all I can say to each one of you is thank you, and thank you for doing such a great job for our sport.
Yes. Question to all of you. When did you first think or realize that American Pharoah was not just a very good horse, but could be a great horse, a Triple Crown horse?
For me to answer this question, when he was at the farm, every single person since he has been born have told me that this horse stood out in their farm. And you get these phone calls from usually farm managers excited. All babies are cute, and you love cute babies. But and I honestly went and digged more. I mean, why? And one person at Vinery, where he was grew up most of the time, Frances, her name. She came and told me he goes out in the field and play. And it's how he plays with his other friends that made him different. His demeanor, the way he carried himself. I'm kind of the man, but there was a lot of maturity to him. Little babies do little silly things, as we all know, but he was doing it in a different way. And that's really the most I've learned, because I really wanted to learn what have he been doing that is so different. So that's the first stage. When he started growing and he was at TaylorMade, they told me that, and they have one of the largest farm in Kentucky. They told me that this is the nicest foal in the entire farm, and we have something coming here. Of course, we were tickled pink because we bred him, and we owned the sire Pioneer of the Nile. So that was the second stage. Third stage, when he actually went to train to be broken at the McCatherines in Ocala. And JB had been very fortunate to have a lot of great horses for Bob Baffert. And some of them have competed in the Triple Crown, like Real Quiet and Silver Charm. But he also had very fast horses like Forestry. And JB told me, Mr. Z, I can tell you unequivocally that this is the fastest horse I've ever put a saddle on. And I said, JB, really? He said, yes, I have been around very, very nice horses. And this one have been very special. So always we knew that, he had something that is great, but as I knew now, some horses do things in the morning called morning glory, and they don't do it in the afternoon. So to go from there and to go to the master here and to see him, and day one, Bob Baffert have been absolutely high on this horse. And it was different air. I was seeing different Bob. Bob never hyped a horse for me, and he had very good horses for me. But he keeps telling me, this is the one, this is the one. And as he keeps training early, very early on he knew. He told me, I've been waiting all my life. Again, these are real codes for a horse like that. I said, Bob, don't scare me. These are big words. He told me, I mean what I'm saying. Just keep it between us. I don't want to jinx the horse.
Keep it between us.
Now the secret is out. The whole world knows. So this is the stages that we have been, Bob did a lot of things that is unorthodox for Bob. Bob does not put his horses where they belong, and does not ship unless the horses are ready. For him to take a maiden and to put him in a grade 1, going 7 furlong, is a tall order. But that's not a Bob Baffert move. And again,
that was my first grade that I did that. First time.
Correct. So I'm telling you facts, reflecting back, because believe me, I stayed up all night saying, oh my God, what greatness have we witnessed? Is this just accidental, or there is actually some level to this madness in a good way? And the more I think about it, I'm thinking every single stop, this horse had been doing things. If you look at his pedigree, and this is my last comment because this is very long answer to your question, but I'm giving you a historic perspective of a horse that deserves now to be looked at in a different light, perhaps. His pedigree, if you look at his pedigree, would not suggest that a horse out of a Yankee gentleman would go 1.25 miles, let alone 1.5 miles. But the good ones, and perhaps the great ones, outrun their pedigree and do make their pedigree.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Bob, Mr. Zayat mentioned yesterday that the decision on racing and what's next for the horse will be left to you. How much downtime does the horse typically need after the Triple Crown grind, and what are you going to be looking for?
Well, some of the horses I've had in the past, I know Real Quiet and Silver Charm, they went through it. It was really tough on them. This horse, looking at him today, he looked, for a horse that ran 1.5 miles, he looked pretty darn good. He's just a tough horse, and he's handling it. So I don't think we'll give him maybe an extra few days off, but he's an athlete. We have to keep him, moving. You can't let him completely let him down, but he'll tell me. We'll get that weight. He lightened up on us a little bit, but he was supposed to. But he's the kind of horse. Today he looked like I could run him back in 3 weeks. He's that kind of horse. He's just special, and we had him out there, and he was just really enjoying all the photographers today, and he's a people horse. He just loves to be around people and people petting him and loving on him. He's just a really sweet horse. So, we're just going to share him with everybody. Everybody wants to get a good look. Trainer Belmont came over. He wanted to get an up-close and personal look at him. It was really nice because he also had Pioneer the Now. And we talked about him, but that's what this horse is really, to me. I remember going to Bill Mott's barn. I wanted to see Cigar up close, and so I remember even as trainers, we still were in awe of the superstars of our sport. So it was really neat this morning to be able to share this horse with everybody else. Because me as a fan, I know when I started training thoroughbreds, I love to go see the good horses up close, and that's what this horse is all about. He really. We thought he was good. Like the question you asked, when do we know maybe he's a Triple Crown? I knew he was a really good horse when he won the Del Mar Futurity and before the Breeders' Cup. Then he came back and he won the Rebel. We thought, that's good. But when he won the Arkansas Derby, I said, "Oh crap! This horse is really, really a good horse." And that's when, I mean, even my wife Jill, we all felt, "Wow, this is really." Then I started getting nervous. I go, "Man, he's a superstar." So, and Victor did a tremendous job in his riding him at Oaklawn. I always told him, look, if everything just goes well, don't win by a lot. And, sometimes they can do too much coming off a layoff. And he really handled the horse really well. He kept him together, didn't win by a lot. He could have won by, all those races, he probably could have won by 12, 15 lengths, saved a little something. And that just shows the confidence that he has in the horse. And actually apologized for winning the Arkansas by 8 lengths. He said, "I'm sorry, Bob, but I had to." He heard the noise, and I had to kiss to him a little bit there to, keep him focused. But and that's been a big key to this horse, because I've never had a horse. When you ship horses, it takes a little bit off them. When you put them on a plane, you ship to a track, then you ship them back to California. Then I ship them back to Arkansas. And then he ships to Kentucky, runs in the Derby, ships to Preakness, ships back to Kentucky, then ships up here. I mean, that takes an extraordinary horse. You cannot do it. I mean, the only horse that could handle that, what I had before, was Point Given, who was one of the greatest horses I had trained. And he could handle something like that. And this horse, but he was a big, stronger horse. And this horse, he just took everything in stride, never missed a meal, kept in his grain, never uses any excess energy, but every time he goes to the track, he just loves to train. He is so happy when he's on that track. And that's why yesterday he was so happy. Here he was going 1.5 miles. And when he made the lead in the first turn, and he just threw those ears forward, that's a happy horse right there. And he was loving it coming. And when he came to the quarter pole, and Victor still had a hold of him after going that far. I mean, it was ridiculously insane what he did yesterday. And then he pushed the button, and he just dropped down and flew home the last quarter. I mean, I've never had a horse like that. I mean, and I've never seen a horse run like that, because I wasn't around for the Seattle Sloughs and the Secretariats. And I mean, what we witnessed yesterday, I was pretty in awe of him myself. Like, wow, because every time he runs, he shows me something that we haven't seen, because Victor wouldn't let him out. In the Derby, he got a little bit stirred up going up there, and he was behind horses, and he wasn't really in a comfortable position in the Derby. And so that's why Victor had to be so aggressive with him, because he just wasn't responding that day. And so we were really lucky to get by that one. And so, but since then, it's been his breezes before he came here they were sick. I mean, the way he did it. I mean, Martin Garcia came off of him like, wow, man, he hasn't even lost anything, And so he still had his fastball. And that's why, Victor in the paddock, when I watched him gallop around here, I started getting nervous, because I knew he can do it, but we just need, something, clean break and all that. And I just told Victor, in the paddock, I think he's really, really good. I think you're going to have the horse under you today, so go ahead and you can ride him with your confidence. And he did, and he responded. It was a beautiful moment, but it was just, I will never forget the sound of the crowd when they turned for home, and even past the wire, people were just erupted. It was just like, I've never been involved in anything like that. And plus I noticed yesterday, which was unheard of, I didn't get one heckler in New York. It was the most amazing. I always get at least 1 or 2 hecklers. Bob, not today. Nothing. I mean, everybody was on board with his horse. And even Bodie was disappointed that we didn't get a heckler. And Daddy, nobody said, it was just one of those things that this journey with his horse has just been incredible since we started, from the Rebel to the Arkansas Derby, the whole Derby thing. It's been very emotional for Jill, my wife, and Bodie, because there's a lot of pressures, the stress, and all, and that's why I was really relieved to win the Derby, and I was happy to win the Preakness, and yesterday was very emotional for me to. I was thinking of all I was thinking of Bob and Beverly Lewis and Silver Charm, Mike Peregrine, Real Quiet, Ahmed Salman, Thoroughbred Court, War Emblem, all the people that we would try to get here that they have so much passion for. And then to see this horse finally do something that for a while I was starting to believe, well, maybe it's never going to happen. It's just getting too tough. It's changed. It's... we think about maybe it's the breed or whatever. It's not the breed. It's just, we just have to wait for these superior horses to come around. They don't come around that often. But they also have to be tough and handle the grind. And this horse he was made for it. And I'm just feel fortunate that Mr. Zayat bred him. He gave him to me. He could have sold him. Something told him not to sell them, and here we are. We made history, and Victor got another shot at it. What he went through with War Emblem really wasn't much of a chance. He went through with the ride with California Chrome was so exciting to watch last year, and then to get another chance like this, I believe in fate. It was meant to be, and I can't believe I'm here talking about the Triple Crown, because really I was starting to believe that we were going.
Grade 1 in 6 different tracks.
If I didn't win yesterday, I was going to take a bat to that Triple Crown trophy and just destroy it and just send me a bill for it, whatever. There's a jinx on it, but.
I'd like all of you to comment on this, but Bob, to your point about just having to wait for a horse who can do it, do you think this ends the talk of changing the Triple Crown or altering it, like you said, the breed, and how important is it to you that the tradition of the Triple Crown stays the way it is?
Well, I think the tradition of it has to stay the same, because if you spread it out, it would lose its build. I mean, once the derbies run, everybody starts getting on board. The spring, the derbies that they run before to get there. But once the derby starts, people start watching and they're following it. You have 2 weeks, and in America now, I mean, our attention span it doesn't last very long. So it's really you want this thing to that short frame of time, because people, we picked up a lot of, I'm hearing from people I haven't heard from 20 years, and I think this is the most attention that probably with social media and all, that people watching this horse feeling like, I was dying to sit. I would have loved to say, you know what, when I heard there was 8,000 tickets left, I felt like just buying them myself and just selling them out front here, because I think, this horse, I just had a feeling he could do it, but I just didn't want to jinx myself, and but I had a lot of confidence in him. Mr. Zayat, he was so nervous before the race. I told him, don't worry about it. It's going to happen. But we just clean break, and it's over, and that's what happened.
Mr. Zayat, would you comment on that?
Sure. I'm on record on that. I think that there is something special about tradition. And when it comes to tradition, I'm very conservative. I don't like to play what could we or not do. I think horses need to earn it to be a Triple Crown winner. I've been asked before about what's your thoughts about fresh horses coming in, and is it fair or not fair? And I've said no, I think it's absolutely fair. And I think that, again, we have to earn it, and the horse should earn it, and everything should come. And if he wants to define greatness and be one of the special horses, before there was only 11, now he's the 12th, he have to earn it. And spacing or not spacing, we talk about breed, and if the breed are they made the same or not? I think it's different times, different eras, and it's very hard to come and change tradition. I mean, you have to have some benchmark. You have to have some standards where you can look at this horse compared to others. I mean, when I try to look and I mean, it had not been long, okay? Analyze the race. He have run the second fastest Belmont after Secretariat. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, for American Pharoah to be caught, and even after winning the Triple Crown, against Secretariat or Seattle Slew or Affirmed or some of the greatest. And when you look actually at his entire Triple Crown races, the three of them, and you stack it, he actually ranks fourth in terms of the whole time, 6 minutes and something seconds. I didn't look at the exact number, but if you look really at it, you'll find that actually he ran a very, as we all know, slow Derby. He ran a very easy Preakness. I mean, he floated over the slop. So he wasn't even really asked then to come and do the way he's done. His last quarter was in 24. I mean, this is pretty, this horse, to get them even to work on that, it's like you're happy, not to run a mile and a half. So in terms of where he belongs, the legacy, and how he measure up to other great Triple Crown winners, we're looking pretty here. And so do I want to really play with that? It could happen, and it happened.
We're going to do 3 more questions. One.
I know you mentioned some of this story, but what races are you considering for him? What are some possibilities?
Well, the only races are, after, we freshen them up a little bit, the only options are out there are basically, you've got, starting in something in end of July or something, you've got Haskell, what's the one at Saratoga, Travers, the one
Yeah, you
before,
better, you better say that.
the one before the
Jim Dandy.
The Jim Dandy. Yeah,
Right.
I can't remember
That's okay.
the Jim Dandy. So you've got that. You've got Del Mar has a little race down there, and then we've got there's so many. We're just going to let the horse just right now. We're just going to love on him and enjoy it, and we'll figure something out and get it out there. So make sure that I just want to make sure that when I do send him up there that I've seen a lot of horses go through the Triple Crown and then they come back, they get beat, and I don't want to see that happen. So I'm going to make sure when you see him out there, you can feel good about it, that when the gate comes open, Victor will have him in lockdown going around the first turn with those ears up. And by the way, why did you win by so much yesterday?
As you guys look ahead at what to do with him, are you conscious not just of him running well, but of wanting to show him off and wanting to create excitement for people in various parts of the country, I guess?
Well, we're just gonna sit down with basically I'll sit down with the racing manager, Justin.
Right there.
Right there,
Justin's
Mr. NYU. And we're going to figure out I just haven't really thought about it at all. I'm just trying to I still haven't soaked in all this, that we actually won the Triple Crown. It's going to probably take me a few days. And every time I've only seen the replay just a few times because we were so tired last night. But I just want to really take it in, and I just don't know to be a Triple Crown trainer is like, at least Billy Turner has somebody to talk to now, and he's out there by himself, and so we can talk about how great we are, and we only ones that could do it. But I just want to really want to enjoy it, because it was nobody can. It's so difficult, and nobody knows better than I was the closest one there, and I left here just. I remember all those beats, just so disappointing. And going in yesterday in the afternoon, I got to, especially when your horses aren't running well. Then Byron, he just stumbled badly and ran horrible, and I'm thinking, oh, poor Jill goes home. Don't tell me it's going to be one of those days. But the Pharoah, he's he's golden. You know, you can always count on him. So I'm just really enjoying it and enjoying the moment because, you know, I don't know if this will ever come around again. I don't know if I'll ever have another horse of this caliber. Hopefully there's some out there, but it's something that I think Victor really deserved it. Zayat really deserved it. He's really been so passionate in the sport, his family, and with Bodemeister, Pioneer of the Nile, all these, I mean, he's like the stallion maker. And so, and luckily, you know, he breeds this horse named after his daughter, Emma. Emma has a lot of good luck. And so, but it just happened. It was supposed to happen. It's fate. It was supposed to happen to him. He's been through a lot, and here we are. I remember the first time we met. I had lost a lot of my clients, and I was down on horse. I really didn't have somebody big, and a friend of mine introduced us. I picked him up, bought some horses, and he really helped me at a time when I really needed help. And so, and I'll always remember that I always remember people that helped me when I needed help. And he came in there and helped me out, gave me a boost, and this is how I repay you. I look at Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
I want to add to about the continuation of the racing career of American Pharoah. We wanted to celebrate last night, and I cannot tell you the feeling, breeding and owning one. But honestly, it's how we're going to move forward, and I take this very responsibly. I think it's a huge, huge honor and privilege, and we owe it to the sport to do the right thing. Money plays an important factor in this game. I've already sold his breeding right, but it's my genuine desire as a fan, somebody who loves horses, is to race him as long as I possibly could. So we've said that we are committed to race him at least, till he finishes his 3 years old. Saying that, I want the fans to still enjoy something, and I'm going to leave it up to Bob to prep him as he have done brilliantly through the whole career in the right way. Saying that, we're not thinking here at all about value or money or anything like that. It's when the horse is ready, we're not going to be scared of running him to lose or not lose, what is going to make for the value or not. It's all about now the fans, and this belongs to history. So I'm personally taking, as my family, this responsibility extremely seriously, and I hope that we're going to be worthy, and I know that Bob always, the horse comes first to him. And I know when he ships and preps a horse, they are usually ready to perform. It's very rare to have a Bob Baffert horse does not run his race. And with this horse, we owe it to the sport to campaign him properly and as often as we possibly can and excite them. So this is a pledge that I've done for my family, for the industry, for the racing. And we take it really seriously.
Final question, John.
Plus, I want to add, if this horse gets beat next time, Jill will never forgive me for it, so he'll be ready.
John.